Hi all, I'm Denis Yashanov, an ad monetization expert at CAS.AI company. Nice to meet you. In this video, we are starting a Q&A segment on our channel where we will be addressing popular questions from mobile app developers. Our first question is, what is the optimal frequency of advertising and how to set it up correctly for a mobile app? And this is a very challenging question because there is no correct answer to it, whether to do it this way or that way, because everything needs to be thoroughly tested. And it will also depend on the category of applications you are working in. If you are in the hyper-casual games category, where you build your monetization entirely on showing advertisements to users and try to recover the cost of acquiring them as quickly as possible, then increase the frequency so that you can recoup them as quickly as possible and maximize your revenue. Attempt to refrain from frightening her off, endeavor to swiftly recover your user. In this scenario, you have the opportunity to comfortably examine metrics like an average of 5 to 7 full-screen advertisements per user per day, and you can also strive for an additional 3 to 4 rewarded videos per user per day. Second inquiry. Which advertising formats are logical to utilize and for what games? The response to this query can be found in the way you presently generate revenue from your game. If you possess a mixed type of monetization, referred to as hybrid, in which you have both advertising monetization and in-app purchases, the most appropriate format will be the one that minimally cannibalizes the amount of time the user spends in the game. These formats are the most native, for example, rewarded video format, which is video for reward, as well as embedded native advertising, or the so-called immersive advertising, some call it in-app native ads, within the game itself, where users are not taken to any other games. They are usually shown branded ads and they stay there, continuing to increase their purchasing ability as they are shown the offers. If your entire monetization strategy is focused on earning revenue from advertisements, attempt to utilize the most comprehensive formats, relying on the metrics that your user base provides within your game application. For instance, if you have a lengthy session but not a large number of levels, consider utilizing banner in addition to interstitial. You can utilize the interstitial by embedding certain milestones within the levels, upon reaching which the user will be granted a so-called micro-pause, during which you can position this interstitial. If you do not want to use interstitial at all, but you have the option in your game to receive some hints, get some bonuses, you can utilize rewarded video for this purpose, in addition to incorporating a banner into your game design. Again, if the session duration for the user is quite long, by long, I mean something more than 5, probably 6-7 minutes. If the user session in your game is brief, where a session can also refer to the duration of a game level, attempt to utilize more interstitial advertisements. This will work faster for the user, although this format cannibalizes the retention rate, meaning the return of users to the game. Next inquiry, how to appropriately achieve a balance between in-app purchases and in-game advertising in your game. The question already implies that you possess a hybrid monetization system, and once more there are no ideal balances. Every individual strives for those that maximize user profitability within their game. As an illustration, a balance of 50-50 is considered to be good. This is often achieved in casual projects, similar to certain types of logic puzzles, where an equal distribution is sought. Where you have the ability to include an adequate amount of offers to streamline the user gameplay, as well as utilize advertising monetization through rewarded video and banners, occasionally interstitial, in order to address ad-related inquiries. Also, in these games, it is often possible to see a proportion split of around 30% advertising, 70% in-game sales. This is because the developer does not want to use, for example, interstitial ads, and only uses rewarded video and banner ads. Banner advertisements are solely utilized in particular instances when it is definite that the user will not expend currency in the game. Hence, it's vital to grasp the audience balance, i.e., the countries they're from, to ensure clarity. Nations where users have enough money frequently discover it simpler to separate from it. For example, these are Tier 1 countries such as the USA, Canada, Australia, also Asian countries like Japan, Korea. European countries will occupy the second place. This includes Germany and France. However, the users with the least lag and money are located in the so-called T3 countries. In India, Brazil, Pakistan, Vietnam, there, you can mainly rely on earning from advertising and try to strike a balance in that direction to ensure a sustainable revenue model. So the answer is simple. Test, first and foremost. Second, understand who your user is and strike a balance so that each cohort pays off. Our fourth question, does it make sense to use new advertising formats, such as in-app native ads, or alternatively called immersive audio ads, and not quite a new format, but long known, offer wall? Let's commence with the first one, immersive native advertising. This format will enable you to minimally divert the user's attention from the game while simultaneously generating additional income of 4 to 5% of the total revenue earned from the game. There are studios that are currently and increasingly popularizing this format now because, as I mentioned previously, it does not cannibalize user retention and does not distract them from the game. An individual will merely observe a banner. Most frequently, it is advertising for a brand as they advance through their level. The most appropriate games for this are those that have the capability to exhibit advertisements on the screen for a duration of 2 seconds, as only in this particular scenario will the impression be taken into account. These can be shooters, these can be runners, these can be racing games. Anything that meets the criteria for displaying this particular format on the screen or monitor will work. Coming in second place, we have audio advertising. This format is relatively new and possesses a highly intriguing specificity, which is that advertising is conveyed through audio. As it is known, not all users play with sound on, but according to some statistics, this is 30+%. Furthermore, in the event that the user has enabled the sound, at least up to a specific threshold level, the impression will also be captured and logged. Most often, this format appears as a displayed icon when the sound is playing. And this sound already depends on you how it will be set up. You can skip it, or you cannot skip it. It will also bring a small increase in the form of additional revenue to the existing advertising that you already have in place. The latter is highly valued in games that have a relatively robust in-game economy, offer wallet, a platform known for its strong in-game financial system. This format is indeed suitable for mid-core games, for casual games, but with a focus on in-game economy. Why? Because if you primarily depend on advertising monetization in your game, it will be challenging to integrate this format, as the user must perceive and comprehend the value they will receive from completing the actions mentioned in the offer within the ranks of offers. Try to prioritize the first two options if you do not possess a more intricate structured economy system that is specifically associated with in-game products. And if it does exist, then you can utilize all three, but here it will be contingent on your integration process. And the fifth question, how to properly integrate ads into the gameplay to reduce irritation and prevent players from leaving your game, essentially. A quite specific question because, again, there is no straightforward answer to it, just like with the rest of the questions in general. However, the main flow of your design should ensure that users do not receive ads at times when they do not expect them to appear. For example, if you have levels in the game that users pass through rapidly and you want to display ads in between them, you need to ensure that when transitioning to another level, an ad does not appear in the middle of the next level, which could disrupt the user experience and lead to frustration among players. So make sure to keep an eye on this moment, as it is a fairly common mistake. The second point is connected to banners, which for instance might show up in the game at a certain point because of delayed loading and overlap with a portion of the user interface of your game. Firstly, this is an extremely perilous moment, because if the moderators from the stores happen to notice it, they have the ability to send you an alert, all the way to the extent of blocking your application. Secondly, you are once again disrupting the user process, the gaming process, and because of this the user may drop off. Users also do not appreciate it when they want to watch, for example, rewarded ads, and it still has not appeared or has not loaded properly for you. Hence, attempt to exhibit functions associated with displaying advertisements for incentives at the point when you are confident that it is already present in your cache. And in the event that the user wants to watch it, you will have the ability to show it to them. Otherwise, they will have a negative experience of waiting for this ad to load, then not knowing for sure how long it will take, if it will be found or not, and they may just skip your game. Therefore, initially and primarily, be highly attentive to the partners you integrate into your business, and to the formats you integrate, as well as to the process. In other words, try to track for yourselves how it happens, how it plays out. And if you feel even a slight discomfort for yourself, it's better to work on your idea a little more. Those were all the questions for today. Like our video, subscribe to our channel, and also ask your questions in the comments. We'll be glad to explore them further in our upcoming videos. Thanks all, bye for now.